You are listening to episode 25 of the Peaceful Mind Podcast. Welcome to the Peaceful Mind Podcast, a place for creating the peace of mind you need to be the best mom you are created by God to be. If you want to bring more balance, more joy, and more peace to your motherhood, this is the place for you. I'm your host, certified life coach and Catholic mom, Danielle Tino. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, let's get started. Hi, everyone. This is the 25th episode of the Peaceful Mind Podcast. I see this as a nice milestone to celebrate, so I have paused to say a prayer of thanks. And also, I want to express my appreciation to you for listening. And speaking of being grateful, I'm recording this podcast on a Sunday afternoon in January. Yet, in my household, today we are celebrating Thanksgiving. Yep, woke up this morning to a turkey baking in the oven, and there is currently warm pumpkin pie on the counter. Did you know that you could just make the decision to have any day of the year be a holiday for yourself? Well, you can decide it, like my family is doing today. And here's the backstory. Last November, around the traditional day in the United States of Thanksgiving, my husband, who does all the food shopping and cooking, yay, lucky me, he bought an extra turkey. He loves Thanksgiving and makes a killer turkey soup with the leftovers too. But anyway, you know turkeys are plentiful and inexpensive in November, more so than any other time of the year. And we also have an extra freezer in the garage to store it, so my husband thought, why not prepare ahead of time, buy an extra turkey now, and then pick another day in the year to celebrate and give thanks. I think it's a great idea. So that's what we are doing today. There's a fire in the fireplace, and even a dog show is on TV today, which is traditionally also something else we do on Thanksgiving Day. How amazing is that? Okay, so for you, I hope my little example was a nice reminder that you can take beliefs you currently hold, like only holding a Thanksgiving dinner on the actual designated holiday, or you can re-decide to do it up a little differently if you want to. Which brings me precisely to what I want to talk to you about today. Decisions. Yes, making decisions. Having the skill of being a decisive person, and is my mission in all things with this podcast, moving towards feeling peace around the decisions you currently are making, you're in the middle of making, or making in the future. Just like deciding to have Thanksgiving Day on a January afternoon, you can decide that making decisions can be done peacefully. Often is the case that we are not aware of all the decisions we are constantly making throughout our days. And when we are, say, in a larger life decision, like who to marry, what house to buy, where to go on vacation, what job to take, how much money to save, there will be a lot of confusion, doubt, hesitation, and fear. Fear of making wrong decisions. An example from my life was there was so much mental work, overcoming confusion on what to do, doubt if I could do it well, little fear of what people would say or think. That all came, was part of from the time where the idea to even make this podcast was born. And then there were so many decisions to make to actually produce it and get it out there in the world. The decisions are still made on the regular to get each and every episode recorded, edited, named, and published. And just like our daily mom life of kid raising, dinner making, and taking care of so much, there are tons of decisions to make every day. In fact, when I went to Google to see what it says about how many decisions we make in a day, it suggests a guess that on the average, a person makes an eye-popping 35,000 choices per day. And assuming that most people spend around 7 hours per day sleeping, which is free from decision making, right? That makes roughly 2,000 decisions per hour. Like, what time to get up, what to wear, what to eat, what to do first, how many cups of coffee to drink, deciding how much prayer time I can fit in, what exercise will I do today, will we get new windows for the house this year or next year? Should I start my own business or find a part-time job from home? Should I retire this year or next? And my personal favorite, should I hire a life coach or not? Yeah, I had to get that one in because you know my answer to that one is yes, of course you should. It will be the best decision you ever make in your life. And then there is the quote, big decisions of life. The ones that feel daunting and heavy. The ones that are scary because you really want to make the right decision. Having proof that it'll be the best one, right? Now, yes, there is something to say around taking your time, gathering information, and believing in your capabilities and exploring your options and weighing all the options to see how it affects your heart and soul. However, what I'm wanting to talk about with you today is when you are at that point, when you have done the work to have an answer, but then you don't take action to decide. Just decisively choose. Instead, you don't do anything and you stay stuck and you continue to gather information and you continue to spin in confusion on what to do. And you want to avoid uncomfortable feelings of actually deciding, and then you stop yourself ultimately from creating what it is you are wanting to create that will come when you actually make the decision. There is so much positive power to use in having a strong decision-making skill set. And because of that, the opposite is true. Indecision feels powerless. When you don't decide on something, there is a sort of wandering in the wilderness type of uncomfortable land you go to that feels awful. It's full of confusion, doubt, uncertainty, what-if scenarios playing in your mind. It causes you to have your feet in cement blocks of stuckness. What you are actually after, but you may not know it yet, is the life co-creating skill set of being able to make decisions quickly, decisively, and confidently. And for us mothers of faith, we of course want to go to the Lord, our Blessed Mary, the Holy Spirit, all the angels and saints, and ask for their guidance as well. But once we've done that, we have to take action. And I want to help you build this skill set of being a ninja decider and having you gain even more peace of mind with every decision you make. Peace before, during, and after your decision is made. Because having the skill of being a good decision maker is one of the ultimate God-given powers you can put to use to co-create with Him in life. I want to offer you 3 ways of peaceful decision making. They are, number 1, the answer of what to do is always found inside of you. Number 2, there are no right or wrong decisions. And number 3, the peace you seek only comes after you actually make the decision. So let's dive into number 1. The answer of what to do is always found inside of you. That's right. Little or big decisions, it doesn't matter. You know the answer, Mama, but you have just forgotten that it's there. Always there. Always has been. But instead of going there first, internally, you've conditioned your mind to believe that you don't know. And you very often say the phrase, I don't know. Then immediately go to look outside of yourself for the answers. And when we look outside of ourselves for answers, you can get 1,000 different insights on what to do. But it'll just add more to the confusion. When you are believing that you don't know the answer, you are actually directing your mind to close down. I visualize it like a clamp, just shut, and it's super hard to pry open. Because the more you are thinking that you don't know the answer, the tighter shut your mind keeps keeping you closed off from the answer. And speaking of the answer, I'm going to tell you today that the answer is always found within. You do always have it there. And one way I talk to my clients about it is when I ask them a question and then their answer is, I don't know. Then I ask them the question, what if you did know? Then what would you choose? I also word it in a way that, takes in a way where I say, take a guess. Like, just take a guess on what you think would be the best answer or choice in this situation for you to decide on. Then what would that be? Even those two simple questions, what if you did know, or, take a guess and what would that be? It just loosens your mind, right? From that tight grip, from that limited belief that you don't know what to do in this decision-making process. I even go as far to say that for this session only, you aren't able to say the phrase, I don't know. For one, it shows them how much they would be saying the phrase, because they always laugh when they realize they're about to say it when I ask them a question, and they catch themselves first. And I've even gone as far as offering them some homework to experiment with banishing the phrase from their vocabulary for a week to see if they can start to build the habit of going within, to build the muscle of finding the answer themselves, because you know what is best for your life, not me, and I want you to see the power you have for your own life. So maybe you can try that exercise after listening to this episode today. Just go on a, quote, I don't know diet. See how long you can go in your life whenever you're faced with a decision and your mind tries to offer you saying that you don't know the answer. Just ask yourself, okay, what if I did know? Or what's my best guess of what the best thing would be for me right now? When I looked it up, I found the definition of what a decision is as a committed action driven by a committed thought. Again, it's a committed action driven by a committed thought. So anytime you make a new decision, that decision will simply boil down to committing to thinking a new belief. You're stuck until you make the decision. Do you see that? That how until you commit, until you have a thought that brings on commitment, then you will stay in that stuckness. And yes, you may be gathering more information, but there won't be any forward motion for you to create the result that you're after. There'll be confusion, doubt, uncertainty. You may not change what you do. You might ask a friend, Google information, survey your family. It's the feeling behind what you do to make the decision that will make you feel good, peaceful, or not leading up to making the decision. And right now, besides all the small decisions you make in a day, you may be faced with decisions about a change in your relationship, your house, your job, your education, your body, or your future. You get to redecide your life. Do you know that? You have 100% free will to change anything you want in your life. You don't have to continue the decisions that you've made in your past. And you don't have to follow anyone else's idea of how you should live. Everything is your choice. Now, there are lots of decisions you made that you love. And if I'd asked you if you'd make that decision again, you would probably say yes. For me, I would choose my husband again. The decision I made to have children, I absolutely would redecide to do that all over again. I love my house. That was a great decision. The college I attended, and my current career. When I even just think about all these things in my life, I am actually choosing to have it again and again every time I think about it. But for many other parts of one's life, you will also find it desirable for you to redecide your life. But with what I'm offering you here today, it's about redeciding your life on purpose. And that, my friends, has to happen by intentionally focusing your mind with intention and purpose, and commit by your thinking to decide, and then you will be able to move on with the action of getting the result you want. You want to consciously make decisions for yourself and family with a power of knowing behind you. And that knowing comes from the next point in peaceful decision making, which is number 2, there are no wrong or right decisions. Now, I know when I say that, your mind might be, battling a little bit, like, what do you mean, Danielle? Of course there are right decisions and wrong decisions. But in believing this thought, this is what I find keeps my clients stuck, in that if you believe that you have to make a right one, or you're fearful that you might make a wrong one, you're not going to make one at all. And then the peaceful feeling is going to be not there that you're looking for, because you're not going to find that until you actually make the decision. So, yes, you heard me correctly. There are no wrong or right decisions. Now, I know at first sight, or in this case, when you first listen to me say that, you think, how can this be? Of course there are wrong and right decisions, but stay with me. We have been conditioned to believe that there exists something outside of us, outside of our mind of thinking thoughts, that determines whether something is right or wrong for us. But this simply is not the case. I decide what's right and decide what's wrong by only one way, by our thinking. Even with our Catholic faith of what rights we believe that, any human has, they are still only beliefs that we have chosen to think and believe over and over again. So much so that it becomes what we go to automatically. Our brain goes there on default. You will grow and evolve and purposely be in the position of leading your life outcomes when you, on an ongoing basis, keep redeciding what is right or wrong for you on a continual basis. What you decided to do when you were in college may not be the path that will work for you now. If this is the case for you, and I know it is for many, because my mom clients who feel trapped in a career that isn't working for their life now, or are in a position to take on or look for a different job, fight themselves with feeling guilt or bad to not put their college degree to use. Or they harbor on how much they paid for their education and they don't want to, quote, waste it. So then they decide to keep believing an old belief from their college days. In the case of wanting to decide the next right decision of what to do job-wise, say when the kids are older and leave the house, or if in addition to taking care of the children and household, you want to add a new job to your life, I find moms become stuck in deciding what even the next step should be. Afraid, and they keep fearing the new routine or new schedules. But in that not knowing if it's right or wrong, they don't take any action. And really what happens is that in the skill set of making a decision quickly, decisively, then it will cause you to take action, because you'll know once you choose what the next move is. And as you're taking more action, it's going to reveal itself whether it was right for you or wrong for you by the way you're thinking about those results. And let's just say you decide on, option A of something. Once you decide, and in that decision, you will feel like instant relief, because now all of your brain power gets directed at that one spot instead of being split in, the what to choose. Now you get to focus and then take action on that decision. And at the same time, it is an option for you to decide that that was the perfect decision for you. That you now are making the right decision. Like, you get to decide and feel that way by your thoughts about it all. Which leads me right to number 3, that peaceful decisions come from what you are thinking about the decision after you've made it, and from having your own back once you do. So I'll reiterate again here today about what I teach and how I coach is that our thoughts are what creates our feelings. So in this case, in a lot of cases that I speak about, we want to have peace of mind and peace of heart. So you've just made a decision. You've just decided. So after, if you want to have peace about it, this is where you on purpose generate thoughts, thinking patterns that when you choose to think them, it brings you a feeling of peace about it. And, one of the examples of a thought could be what I offered you in step number 2, or the second way to have peaceful decision making, which is there are no right or wrong answers. That in itself is a thought. So after you decide on something, then just decide that there is no right or wrong, and I get to decide what's right for me. So I'm deciding this is the right one, and that could bring on a feeling of peace for you. Because you feel peace in your heart, generated because of your thinking, can you see how if you just direct your thoughts before you make the decision, when you've encountering a decision, you're in the middle of it, and then afterwards, if your focus is just having your mind look towards what is right about it, how this is working for your life, why this is the best choice, all of that pattern of thinking will bring you on a sense of peace. And we always get to redecide. So if by taking action, which will only come after you make the decision, if that brings you to thoughts that aren't bringing peace, then you can redecide. Because going back to way number 1 is that's because the answer, and then now we know the right answer, is always inside of you. Most of us just simply fall into the pattern of living out the decisions we have made in the past. We fall into a pattern of believing that we have to do things a certain way, and that all of the important decisions in life have already been made. And I want to challenge you to look at making decisions differently than you ever have before. Maybe you are currently in the midst of having to make what you would consider a, quote, big decision, or maybe you will now gain awareness about how many little decisions you are making throughout your day, and you want to feel better about all of them. Either way, I hope today's episode shows you that I've got you, that I understand, and that I know that you want more peace in this kind of aspect of life of making decisions. And not only do I think that what I've shared with you today will be a key player in you having a more peaceful mind, but I know that because of it, if you follow these ways of making decisions, I know you'll be able to show up in your mom life and for your family more to your greatest version that you're looking to be. I have come to have an abundant amount of peace in my life, and I know for sure it's because I have become a mom who confidently and decisively makes decisions. And I hope you will put some of what you heard today into practice and become a peaceful decision maker too. And just to recap, here's the 3 ways to do just that. Number 1, the answer of what to do is always found inside of you. Number 2, there are no right or wrong decisions. And number 3, the peace you seek only comes after you actually make the decision. And if any of you are wanting to have help, guidance, accountability to overcome any challenges or struggles you are currently facing in your Catholic mom life, or want to once and for all take action towards your success and achievement of the goals you have for your life, I want to invite you to sign up for a free 30-minute discovery call with me. The link to do so can be found in the show notes. It is a decision you will have to make, but as you know, you get to decide that it's the best decision to do so. Okay, my precious moms, thanks for listening, and I look forward to the next 25 episodes. Peace be with you all. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Peaceful Mind Podcast. Are you ready to take everything I teach you here and put it to work for your own life? To really learn how to have peace of mind no matter what is happening around you? If so, I'd love to have you as a client. As your coach, this is where you'll get personal and focused time on your own mind using life coaching tools, concepts, and proven life-transforming wisdom, all through a faith-filled lens. To learn more about how we can work together, come on over to danielleteenel.com. There, you'll see how to sign up for a free coaching consult and learn how to get started. Until next time, peace be with you always.